everyone. This is Legend Hunter and the Legend Hunters.
And welcome once again to the Legend Hunters podcast.
The show where everything that we do is visual and none of it's seen for you.
Oh my gosh.
You know, one of these days if we do get really popular, they're going to want to see us. God damn it!
And there we go again.
You don't want to know what Leo is doing. You don't want to know.
I think
You
they
do not want to know.
And that is the mystery behind the show.
Anyway, I gotta say, out of all the bosses in Shovel Knight, I gotta say, the ones that ooze class. The ones that really ooze class.
We're having this argument again.
Yes, and I still stand by what I say. Spectre Knight is the classiest villain.
No. He is not the classiest. Propeller Knight is the classiest villain.
Fuck that level.
What do you mean, fuck that level?
Okay,
you know what? I agree with you, fuck that level. But he is the classiest motherfucker in the Knights in No Quarter.
I will disagree. Based on character, not bling. Foppishness is not class.
You're nothing but a decadent dandy.
That guy doesn't deserve anywhere near class. He well deserves where he ends up.
Yeah, considering Spectre Knight has his party in a graveyard, is about as anemic as a Barbie doll, and
To be
pretty
fair,
much fights like one.
he's anemic because he's undead.
Are we sure he's undead, or he just has the magic of the undead?
Well, his death animation makes him sparkle like Edward.
That's his armor.
Alright, moving on. So
what about Mr. Foppishly Fop Knight?
Dude, have you seen his ending? He has a mad party on his airship with bitches.
That's not class. Good lord.
Well, he certainly has...
He's classier than King Knight.
We come back to King Knight. He cannot have class.
Well,
he
has swag.
He has a paper crown.
He has a paper crown. It's not even I believe he would actually do that.
He has a paper crown from Burger King. Exactly. Exactly.
Oh,
you're exactly
Lord.
right, Zero.
Okay, on next topic on the bosses, who would be the best rival? And I'm not just talking about Black Knight.
Polar Knight.
Polar
easy.
Knight because
of the shovel.
because Shovel
the
Knight.
shovels.
And then comparing him to Black Knight.
True, and also Shovel Knight and Polar Knight did have some relationship with one another, like a bromance kinda.
Shovel
You're
Knight
putting it
and
as romance.
I'm putting it as bromance.
Okay,
Bromance.
I put it more as I think I put it more as just a friendly rivalry. I didn't put it as bromance, but
I
mean,
I probably
interpret it that way.
I'd probably put it like Shovel Comrade.
Oh, Black
Shovel
Knight and
shipping.
Shovel Knight?
Shovel
Or-
shipping.
No, Polar Knight and Shovel Knight both use shovels.
Right.
They're comrades in arms.
The way I saw it, I thought that they just studied at the same school.
I don't know because I think the same weapon. Yes, I don't know about the same school because the weapon.
That's what I'm talking
The
about.
fighting styles are completely different.
All right, we've already spent 3 hours talking about a game that
We
already.
haven't spent 3 hours!
No, not 3 hours.
This is not Dragon Ball!
Although sometimes it does feel like it with the amount of faffing about we're doing.
Fair enough.
I didn't mean 3 hours, I meant 3 minutes. So let's move on to how our weeks have been.
All right.
Legends, start us off.
Well, week's been pretty interesting in that I got Monster Hunter for the iOS. I have it on my iPad, and so far I've been enjoying it.
The original one?
I can't really say.
It's probably the iOS version.
I believe it's Freedom Unite, something like that.
Freedom United, yes.
Yes.
I played it for a little bit too.
Mm-hmm. And I was enjoying it for a little while until I ran into one major flaw with all touchpad games.
And that is?
The fact that your own body can betray you with these freaking devices.
Oh, like your hands misregister something?
Okay, the touchscreen registers based on electrical input.
Yeah.
So when you touch the screen, you actually create a circuit.
Yeah, I know. I remember doing that with Dragon Quest.
Right. But what happens if that is spread across a large area?
Trouble?
Oh, yeah, especially when that large area happens to include your directional pad. So here I am trying to go in one direction, and the device is currently fixated on going the other. This while I'm taking on a boss. So after those shenanigans, I decided I'm going to go ahead and try to find a controller. An actual controller with analog sticks, buttons, etc., so that I can actually feel it and, not have the shenanigans that were going on before.
So just plug it into your iPad and play?
Well, you can't do that. Some you can. Some controllers you can. But more often than not, you're going to have to go with the Bluetooth, and good luck finding one. That costs under $80.
Say what? Oh, right. You mentioned this today.
Yeah.
That being said, how many hours have you put into Monster Hunter?
Good lord. I think I put about, I'd say, with all the time I've had this week, about 10 hours into Monster Hunter.
Okay, let me go ahead and give you a fair bit of advice if you ever plan on going any further into the series.
Aye.
Expect to be called a casual until you're 270 hours in.
I can believe that. The amount of
the-
customization just in the early stages that did actually
The Monster Hunter fan base are the most completionist bunch of assholes that I have ever met.
Well,
If you
there
wanna
goes another one.
If you want a good introductory into Monster Hunter, I remember Pro Jared on YouTube having a good introductory video to Monster Hunter.
Yeah,
Well-
I mean, it's a nice series. The problem is, like, again, the community is very completionist. Like, I remember Pat from the Super Best Friends was commenting on one of his podcasts that he was 270 hours in.
Uh-huh.
And he was getting comments from people saying, "You are such a fucking scrub." Because like I said, everyone who goes into these literally S ranks it. It's I want to say it's worse than Disgaea, and that's a very completionist heavy game if you are familiar with the farming strategies with it. And,
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
it's the amount of dedication into that game is just absurd. So Monster Hunter is like 5 times worse.
Yeah, I actually saw like the original Monster Hunter, like a Let's Play. Who was the guy who did it? Prince Boo was the guy who did it.
Uh-huh.
And he was very completionist crazy about it as well. He spent a lot of off time grinding just to get the armor that he wanted.
That's the main part of it because you get like 1 or 2 parts to the armor, or you get 1 or 2 pieces of material in order to craft the weapon or the armor. It's like 20, 15 pieces.
Yeah.
And that's not counting the rare material in which you have to do something. It's like special preparation foods from Toriko, but for the actual boss. So like you have to either hit the weak point or not hit the weak point depending on what boss you're fighting.
True, and also depending on the situation, you might have to fight multiple bosses multiple times. Like the only boss I know from Monster Hunter is called the Rathalos.
The Rathalos. I'm trying to remember.
It's like a really nasty monster from like the first game I remember, and like if I remember the armor, don't quote me on this, but I remember you need like its fangs or something. And that's like a really rare drop.
I mean, there's a lot of monsters that work that way.
And it's a really hard monster.
I remember one from one of the mobile versions that I played. It was basically a Stone Dragon. And when you beat it so many times, the armor set you get makes you look like Havel the Rock.
Nice.
By the way, all the armors in there make you look like a freaking Warhammer character.
So, not a Warhammer character, but it's
like a medieval version.
like a medieval Warhammer, but it's a lot more colorful.
Yeah.
Like seriously, like one of the consistent enemy types is these giant enemy crabs. Yes, the meme exists still, but they're all Japanese. The different ranks of that monster are all named after the different warrior classes, and as it goes, the armor that you get from them makes you look like a freaking samurai.
That's pretty cool.
So I mean, they're very inventive. They're very stylish. This is the Monster Hunter 4 that came out with the new 3DS. Is supposed to be the best in the series as of late.
Which would explain why I can't find it anywhere in the city.
Right. It's actually supposed to be really good. They fixed out a bunch of mechanics. They gave it a decent story, basic enough that you can follow it, but not complex enough that you're going to question it.
From what I heard, it's just a very basic story that just gives you the point of traveling.
It's a port story. It gives you enough so that you can get into it, but you're not expected to ask philosophical questions.
So it's not like Xenoblade, like with what I was doing with my Wii.
Well, we'll get to that. I think Legend still has a lot more to do.
Well, that's basically it. I mean, besides school, which is, as usual, just weighing down on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's just been Monster Hunter, and the fact my ultimate quest to find a controller to work with it. Because just getting into it, I'm not. I can't say that I'm a hardcore gamer, honestly, but I can't say that I'm full casual either.
Yeah.
You're an actual gamer. That's what it is. You're
You're
I'm
an
just a
actual
gamer.
gamer.
You're a normal gamer.
Yes, I'm someone who likes to, go into a game, appreciate it, and play it for all it's worth if I like it. But if I can't get into it, then I don't have a problem with that.
Alright.
Alright, so, how was your week, Zero?
Well, as I mentioned, I played Xenoblade last week, and I beat it.
Good God!
105 hours put into that game.
And how long were you doing the last stretch?
I was doing the last stretch from early morning all the way till 3 o'clock at night. And I had to wake up at 6 in the morning.
And would you say it was worth it?
Yes!
Hells to the
Usually
yes.
it is.
Yeah, seriously, I love the freaking final boss theme.
Just the final boss in general. Good God!
Oh yeah, it's a freaking amazing game.
No spoilers, please.
Yeah.
This game deserves respect.
Or if you're curious, go check out Chucka Conroy's Let's
And watch from the beginning. You don't jump to the end. You do not jump to the end. You watch from the beginning, please. You gotta see it.
So yeah, I've been trying to also play Majora's Mask, but I haven't had time to because I've been too busy studying for my classes because I've been busy studying for virology. And you saw what I had to study.
Yes, I did. And I just gotta say, that is... I would say that's probably some of the worst testing material I've seen in my life.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, to go back to the Xenoblades for a second. Does it have anything kind of like Vesperia, like sort of a secondary quest like the Fell Arms?
Well, as far as I know of, no, there is some kind of extra stuff. Like, the final boss is only like level 81, technically.
And you've been getting creamed by level 90 monsters.
And there are level 90 monsters. There's even, on the Mechonis Fallen Arm, there's a monster that is level 105.
So there is in a sense a true final boss. Like,
No, there is no true final.
Let me rephrase. If this was Final Fantasy VII, the 102 monster that you're talking about is Omega Weapon, versus the final boss of Xenoblade is Sephiroth.
Kinda, yeah. I kind of put it like that, though technically after you beat the final boss, a lot of stuff happens where basically everything that happened kind of got reset, or it's kind of hard to explain. It's kind of convoluted.
So time paradox.
No,
you have to see it.
You
gotta see it.
You really do have to see it.
Well, then loan me your Wii U sometime, and I'll be able to actually see it.
Or just watch online.
No, I'm not gonna watch. The only ones I watch online are the ones that I already know. Otherwise, I want to experience it firsthand.
Yeah. Well, good.
Otherwise, unless it's something I'm too scared to play with, like something else we're going to be talking about soon.
Oh, you mean that one?
Yes, that
Good lord.
Alright, so other than Xenoblade, trying to play Majora's Mask and failing, and study for virology, that's basically been my week.
Alright, fair enough. So, what about you, Leo?
I've been somewhat more lax. I've been getting my acceptance letters from various law schools around the country, so I've been happy to go ahead and revel in that amount of paperwork.
Oh, joy.
I'm expected to make a decision by April, so I'll figure out where I'm going with that then. Video game-wise, obviously I haven't been able to do much. I'm still doing my
Well, I don't know if we've made it obvious. Did you say it in the last podcast?
I said it in the last podcast, yes.
Okay.
Because I mentioned that part of that was also going to be I was going to read that particular book series, which I haven't gotten around doing because of personal malarkey. But what I have been doing, I have been reading a lot more books. I picked up some stuff on barbarian warfare, which is helping with one of my Ravenloft characters. I've been doing a lot of backlogging for that because I'm helping the GM quite a bit with the accounting and stuff. So I had to ask him a couple of issues with our last campaign, which will be updating at the end of this episode. So we are going to be doing a Ravenloft section again.
Woo!
Yay!
I've been watching a lot more. I've been going back to game theories videos. I've been looking through a lot of stuff. I had the pleasure or the mispleasure to watch the most terrifying thing that possibly has happened in recent video game history,
And that is
a full beatdown of the PS1 video game BioFreaks, which, to put it in perspective to you guys, would be the PS1's ET for Atari 2600. Incredibly rare, incredibly broken. And I watched Maximilian Dude for 3 hours try and beat the final boss on the hardest difficulty. To explain to you how difficult this boss was, it took him 2 hours to even get past the first fighter.
say what?
How many fighters?
8 plus the final boss. You have to fight the whole roster, and then you fight the final boss.
And let me guess, you have to do it without dying.
Well, yeah, I mean, you get a continue if you lose the fight, but you don't progress any further.
Oh boy.
Here's the thing about the final boss. She's giant. It's a she.
Oh god.
She's giant. She has huge missiles that take off chunks of your health. She can stop you. You fight in a pool of water with floating pits, and if you're in the water, piranhas eat off your arms, which actually prevents you from attacking effectively.
No shit.
Serious?
And it's a 1 round.
What?
You have to beat the boss in 1 round.
God!
And you thought Dark Souls kicked your ass.
No.
Dark
Okay.
Souls is designed to be trolly, but it's fair.
Yes.
This is downright broken.
Yes. Dark Souls was made to infuriate you. This wasn't made, it was unmade to infuriate you.
More like the developers didn't bother beta testing it.
That could be the case.
Yeah, lack of balance issues, a lot of balance issues.
I'm willing to bet that they also didn't. They didn't play test it. They didn't have beta testers.
It was that period in the 90s where it was a 3D fighter that looked the same, if you know what I'm talking about.
I think I sort of see, yeah.
Because there's a period like in the mid to late 90s where a bunch of arcade games were coming out, and especially these polygon fighters from no-name companies.
Oh, you mean where everyone looked just kind of like origami fighters?
Yeah, that. And this one was a nuclear fallout with the nuclear fallout theme.
Oh, God.
Everyone's cyborg, mutant, zombie.
So it was a recycled fighter in space.
Kind of in Neo-America with a K instead of a C.
Because poor literacy is cool.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you, Linkara.
Yeah, I thought that was Linkara for a second. I wasn't entirely sure, but yes.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Of course, I've been doing research for the podcast, and other than that, I've just been character building for all my old games that I plan on doing when I get done with this.
All right then.
All
so, time to move on to the news.
All right,
Pokemon news.
So there's a lot of Pokemon news. So let's get into it.
And this is actually very exciting. I'm actually glad we're getting shit this time.
So the first thing is
The Pokemon Shuffle.
It's related to Pokemon Shuffle, the freeware game that first came out a couple of weeks ago.
Which...
1 million downloads has already been passed.
That is a significant milestone. Congratulations, Pokemon.
I've looked at Pokemon Shuffle. I don't get the appeal.
It's not your cup of tea.
Have you ever seen Bejeweled? Or
Yes.
Candy Crush?
Yes, and I hate both those games.
It's basically that with Pokemon, so you can imagine how that's going to sell like hotcakes.
Yeah, I am too hardcore.
That being said, like compared to some of the other harebrained schemes, this one doesn't completely try to rip you off.
At least it's not made by the people that make Candy Crush, because seriously, those people are assholes.
Yeah, King is. But anyway, King bashing aside, it reached 1 million downloads, and they were offering a free in-game item which allowed you to go ahead and respawn quicker.
Huh.
I think it was respawn quicker or switch out Pokemon quicker, one of the two.
All right.
But either way, usually an expensive item was made free to celebrate 1 million downloads.
All right.
Okay. Second thing, we got to this too late, but for those of you who did not manage to get an Eon ticket, there was an event in which you could actually put in a passcode and get the Eon ticket for yourself.
Okay.
That being said, if you happen to still have an Eon ticket, you can still pass it around to anyone else.
Yeah, it still acts as the virus.
It still access to the Street Pass.
I just gotta say, that method of transferring it around was brilliant.
It is.
I
I
think
love
I got
the Street Pass mechanic.
I think I got my Street Pass version from yours.
Yeah, we both got ours from his.
Yep.
And where did you get yours? You think? Just walking around?
I cannot say.
Silver Jolteon.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, I would not be surprised. He's pretty well connected.
Okay, so
well connected, i.e. hacking.
No,
no,
not him personally.
well,
Huh.
not him personally. I swear by the Fifth Amendment, Your Honor.
Anyway,
Japan has also 2 more unique mystery gifts for themselves. They get a godly shiny Rayquaza because they need more shinies.
yeah, and haven't they already gotten a Rayquaza with the Create attached to it?
Specifically, that was for the Pokemon Conquest giveaway.
Ah, now what is this one for?
This one is just for shits and giggles, apparently.
By the way, I have still not beaten Pokemon Conquest. I lost interest in that, like, halfway through it.
Honestly, I would like to borrow it from you when I'm done with this, because I would probably find a lot of jokes in there, because I happen to be very savvy with my Warring Periods history.
The Sengoku era.
Yeah,
All right.
With
And-
Nobunaga's ambition.
and I'm a big strategy fan, so.
There's also the ultimate cute Fennekin giveaway also going along with that.
Okay, wait, what? Ultimate cute Fennekin?
It's a Fennekin who's supposed to be based after Serena's Fennekin and has a raised cute stat.
It has a. So
For
it
contest.
comes.
It
ready
comes
built to win
to
cute contests.
correct,
Okay.
because I believe that's part of her thing in the cartoon.
Ah, so we're going back to the whole contest shenanigans thing.
Well, she is anyway. Although,
So that means we get even more filler in the TV series.
To be-
Fuck,
to-
I hate
to-
the
to be-
anime.
to be
Have
fair,
you watched it?
to be
I
fair,
don't care.
to be fair, I've seen a few episodes already of the new anime, and Serena's at least much more active than I would say May or Dawn in terms of the plot. Because at the very least, Iris and Misty have this sort of love-hate relationship with Ash, and it's it's different from all of theirs because Serena's actually interested in Ash.
Because apparently they were childhood friends, and then she moved to Kalos, and bullshit.
Because we're retconning shit. Yes,
Yeah, seriously.
and believe it or not, she actually goes through a design change at least once through this.
Yeah, I
Wait,
saw.
Iris?
Not
Or
no.
Iris. Oh, Serena.
Serena. Yeah,
She gets her hair cut in Lumio City.
which is going to be featured in the Hoopla movie.
Huh. That's pretty cool.
So character development. Yes, there is character development here.
Yeah, too bad it still centers around Ash, who's a complete twat.
He's
Well,
he's
what are you
left-
going to do?
Well, actually, to be fair, it's not entirely his fault.
It's not entirely his fault that he's a complete retard.
No. Let me explain. Someone actually went back and looked through all the Pokemon movies, and they always managed to find this exact parent and child, mother and daughter pairing, walking around in the background during the opening credits to each of the Pokemon movies, and they look exactly the same, despite the fact that supposedly there's a chronological aging. And the end card features Ash saying, "See, I'm not the only one who does this shit." So, in short, don't apply real life physics to Pokemon, you fuck.
Fuck you, I will.
You can try.
I guarantee
try.
you are not going to
I
get
don't
the
care
same
that
success.
Ash aging is just is just like on a long list of things that I have a problem with him. Another thing is that he's dumb as a sack of rocks.
He does come up with creative solutions that he never uses again.
Yeah.
But
Create a
okay.
solution that he never uses again to fight one gym leader, and then he loses immediately in the championship. Seriously.
You think he would learn by now how
No.
to fight people?
You know what?
But okay.
We are going to save an entire video for shit about the anime that we can rant about.
True. We did open a hot button topic among us.
All right, next one. The Hidden Ability Johto Starters are officially out. You can download them from your Pokemon online account.
Remind me again. What are we looking at for hidden abilities for each Pokemon?
Leaf Guard, Meganium, Flash Fire, Typhlosion, and Sheer Force for Alligator.
Sheer Force for Alligator sounds like fun.
Oh, I want to run that. I want to run that.
Giving up my ability to use hacks to hit you in the face all the harder.
Remind me, is Feraligatr more physical or special?
Physical. And he gets Ice Punch.
Ooh. Ice Punch, Ice Fang.
Ice Fang is... Nah, I don't know if it's as good. But...
No, you want Ice Punch.
Yeah.
You want Ice
The
Punch.
I think it comes with Ice Punch.
Yeah, that specific one, yes, it does.
Yes, this one it does.
Lastly,
There's another event in Japan.
Well, this one looks like it'll be coming out to the States eventually, but it's a big one.
We will see.
We will discuss that in a future video, my dear friend. We're going to discuss that in a future video also. Because I have some evidence for that bullshit. Anyway, so Arceus is going to be released for the first time since 2009, since its initial release for the Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum games.
And this one looks really interesting.
There is actually, it's not one giveaway, but 19. And the way that works is that every time, I'm assuming it's going to be, you're given a code or you download it from the internet, and it will give you one of 19 different Arceuses. One for each of the elements, I'm assuming, with the plates, and a separate 19th one
that is
which
shiny.
is going to be shiny is going to be a normal variant that's shiny,
which is awesome,
and is the only time that shiny Arceus is legal. If you happen to be one of the lucky ones to get it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'd like to get that. I really would.
Odds are you won't.
Yep.
Because it's a 1 in 19 shots.
Because Game Freak knows that you hate them.
I don't hate Game Freak.
The recordings on your new 3DS say otherwise.
Okay.
They listened for you very carefully.
Well, they heard me, then they would know to actually start shipping out the fucking amiibos!
Well, if we...
That's Game Freak, not Nintendo. I said Game Freak.
Oh, boy.
Alright, now to something else.
Oh, boy. It's time for
Douchebags of the week. Douchebags. They're not douchebags.
Oh, we've got more than one this time?
Oh,
We always have more than one.
All right.
It's starting to be... If we keep getting more of these douchebags, it's going to start turning into what the fuck is wrong with you.
We can't do that. That's already copyrighted.
I know.
We're gonna have to just wring these douchebag outs with tea. We can make tea with these douchebags.
All right, so who's first in the pot?
Oh god, that is nasty, man.
We're not gonna drink it. I just said we could.
Well, who's first in the pot?
Saban Entertainment, otherwise known as the inventors of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series.
Oh, and what happened?
Okay, so recently in the internet, on the internet there was a fan video made that was a debut of the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series that focused more on the Green and Pink Rangers romance and featured some blood, violence, etc.
So basically,
So
Power movie.
Power rated Power Rangers, yes. To which Saban Entertainment issued a cease and desist order.
Which the video ended up getting pulled off of YouTube.
Pulled off of YouTube temporarily, although now it's been put back because of the fact that because of the fact that it's been around for so long. The Power Rangers franchise could be considered
Public domain?
It's public domain, especially because of the fact that aside from the name and the concept itself, everything else is new. The outfits look different. They use completely different actors. It's only the two of them, and then basically they create the story around them.
And I bet they use like the original Sentai footage as well.
No.
They didn't?
No. This is complete 100% fan made, unlike what Saban does.
Ah, yeah, which is where they take the original Sentai footage and splice it into...
To be fair, they're having to do that more and more because of the fact that Japan's getting more creative.
Yeah, and in fact, I ended up browsing on one of the Let's Players I watch's Tumblr, and I saw one of the Sentais that they have in Japan. It's otaku related.
Otaku
Their powers are otaku based.
Oh, I know okay, time out. I know which one you're talking about, and that's already hit stateside. Let me explain. So one of the last Power Rangers season that came out in the United States. The Japanese plot is that they are space pirates who have crash landed to Earth, and their powers are not at their maximum. So what they do is they borrow powers from the other Rangers of series past. They have the power to become other Power Rangers. Complete And the 6th Ranger, here's the kicker, the 6th Ranger that eventually joins up with them gains all the powers of the 6th Ranger. And his super form features a golden vest which has all the helmets of the 6th Rangers from each of the past series.
Yeah. But that's not the one I'm talking about.
Oh, that's not the one you're talking about?
No.
That is the one you're talking about.
Basically what happens is an anime cyber girl, like literal anime animation, dances around the Red Ranger, he pulls her into his arms, he tries to kiss her, and she turns into his armor. The fuck?
I'm pretty sure that's a Miku fanboy's wet dream right there.
It is!
I have to go watch this now.
It is glorious!
Oh God!
And one of the quotes I saw was, "Our otaku powers saved the day."
This is why people say that the original Super Sentai is so much better than whatever Saturn puts out.
Exactly.
You can't show that on television.
I will-
At least not American television.
I will
Exactly.
find that Tumblr post again and I will show you guys
And
it.
that's why they Americanize it when Sabin takes over.
Of course.
So, that being said, again, like I said, the fan movie is back on YouTube. They finished the debate. If anyone's curious, Tommy Oliver didn't. The actor for the actual Tommy Oliver, Jason David Frank, said he didn't like the taste of this remake.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Although there's also a general consensus that JDF is kind of a piece of shit.
Anyway,
Okay, so that goes ahead and takes care of my douchebag of the week.
but we've got one more.
Well, we got two more.
Two more. Okay.
The next
Wait,
one
are we counting
is...
both of them? Are we counting both of them as separate entities? Please tell me we're not.
Depends.
Because a sock puppet does not count as a person.
No, not that. We're talking about... That's next on the list, but for
We're
now...
talking about the one of which is the worst. It's the worst thing that I've ever seen as far as law-related stuff.
And one of the greatest examples of racial profiling I've ever seen.
Suspicious male in possession of flight simulator game lawsuit.
Okay.
The Department of Justice is suing a man for possession of a flight simulator game.
And he was Middle Eastern, correct?
Yes, he was, as one would guess if you had a sense of irony. And that's it.
That's it. He owned the game.
And they sought to go ahead and pursue him for possession of this game.
Well,
Here's the thing. It's not even... It's to be fair, it's not a commercial game. It's not Ace Combat. It's not one of the ones you see in the arcades. It's a pretty...
It's like Microsoft Flight Simulator.
It's a pretty independent... Like, Microsoft Flight Simulator it might be, but otherwise it's a pretty low-budget game, or at least older generation. So it doesn't look like... It's not fantastic.
So I'm pretty sure you can learn how to fly a plane from one of those.
Well, I don't know because I never played such games.
well,
But here's the thing.
My dad used to play one of those Blackbird stealth games with the joystick.
But here's the thing. He's not being charged with intent to commit a felony. He's not being charged with intent to commit a terrorist act.
he's just being sued.
He's being sued by the Department of Justice
Because he
for
had to
possession of a flight simulator.
On an airplane.
No, just...
Just in general.
Just in general,
Just
like-
walking around with it.
Well, I would assume in the privacy of his own house, but again, yes.
Yeah.
That's what makes this so baffling.
Well, to be fair, as of right now, things are kind of flaming all over the Middle East, so I can understand why the Department of Defense is jumpy.
What does this have to do with the gay rights parade?
What the fuck?
You said flaming.
God damn it.
Location. Or
This
do I need
isn't
to light
San
a fire under your ass?
Oh my. You know there's a cream for that.
A pox upon
Don't drop
both
the
your
lotion.
houses. A pox upon both your houses, gentlemen.
Well, I hope I don't pox them on you.
The
Considering
fine
I'm taking
fuck is that?
virology, that is very apt.
Yeah. Anyway,
The next one is...
Zeros.
Yes, this one came courtesy of me looking at Alpha Omega Sin's video and discovering that Tim Schafer has become the ultimate douchebag.
I'm not sure. Did he sell his soul at some point, or is there some background shenanigans going on?
I think he sold it somewhere between Brutal Legend and Broken Age.
What happened?
What
What happened to you?
I'm pretty sure.
Zero, go ahead and give us the breakdown.
He decided to mix business and politics in a speech he was giving.
Without ripping off Omega Alpha Sin, please.
No, that's what.
I know you're ripping off his
Oh,
words.
God damn it.
In your words, what did this man do? Just what did he do on stage?
He got on a soapbox.
He sold us out.
Yes. He sold us out. He started bashing on Gamergate. He started doing all sorts of stuff. He started just demeaning the entire game.
The game fan base.
The industry altogether. And this was during the Game Developers Choice Awards.
Choice Awards, yes.
Oh, and how did he do this?
He
Because this is my favorite part. How did he fucking do this?
with a sock puppet.
Of Anita Sarkeesian.
I'm pretty sure Anita Sarkeesian had her hand up his ass.
I can't tell who's the bigger puppet here.
They're all puppets, and let's just be honest. I mean, the whole it couldn't get
This was the ultimate way to talk down to your audience.
as it was. I mean, freaking Schaefer was apparently in the 25 ways male gamers have superiority thing that Anita Sarkeesian did. I think like 2 months ago, which also doesn't buy him points for that. But I mean, this is by far the worst thing he could have done.
No, the worst thing he could have done was then start throwing shit at people.
No, I'm pretty sure making it with Anita Sarkeesian on stage probably would be worse.
Ugh. It's like making out with Jabba the Hutt.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far. Especially because of the fact that then you're reinforcing weight stereotypes, and then you're just playing into her hand.
Oh, piss off.
And then as you're eating, as you're eating from one end.
Let me say this about Anita Sarkeesian. She is a very lovely lady in appearance. Personality-wise, not so much.
Well, there's a lot of flaws with her argument, as I've said before, which we might go into in a future video.
Yes.
We might. But anyway, Tim Schafer, you have completely lost my interest in getting any of your games ever.
He has basically committed social seppuku.
Yeah. Basically.
He might as well just throw himself to the wolves.
No. He needs to go ahead, get on to for E3 2015. He needs to go out onto front of a stage, take out the wakizashi, and might as well just disembowel himself on stage, because that's pretty much what happened tonight.
You know what I would love to see him do, though? In a sort of redemption sort of thing?
And then Jack Black comes out...
Hang on.
Let me finish my joke! And then Jack Black comes out in full...
Brutal Legend.
Brutal Legend style, and then axes his head off when he can't do it all the whole way. Okay, now you can go.
Okay. I would love to see him take that exact same sock puppet, strap it to a rocket, and then just fire it off, and somehow say, I was being controlled, I was forced to say this. Because I've heard of his games. I've heard of them, and I really, really want to...
You want to give him the benefit of the doubt.
I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Psychonauts as a main example.
Grim Fandango.
A
lot of the early LucasArts.
You know what
games.
redeems? You know what would redeem him? Is if there was a sex tape between him and Anita Sarkeesian that came out, and he was being gimped the hell out. Would that redeem it for you?
So, 50 Shades of Sarkeesian?
I think we can pretty much put 50 Shades up, and the joke works.
Well, technically Gray is the last name of the main character, so it works.
Oh, man.
Oh, I'm going to hell.
No, that was brilliant.
Okay, so what's next? Okay, so a little bit of good news. The FCC approves net neutrality rules. Finally.
Woo!
Okay.
Of course, this does not mean jack shit, considering the fact that the Republicans are doing nothing but plotting evil things like Skeletor or Lex Luthor. And
Best cut yourself short right now.
Why?
Because we don't want to get political.
Okay, fair enough. But again, we go ahead. We got the big victory we wanted. Net neutrality is the internet is considered a Title II utility, which means that it's protected from regulation.
And that means that Comcast and other internet things cannot go ahead and stranglehold us with the broadband.
They can't jack the rate off. They can't jack the rate on us while they're jacking off. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Let's move on to some
I'm
other stuff.
surprised you weren't calling me out for something on that.
I don't have any.
You don't have a sock to go ahead and cover up the mess.
No, I don't have all my facts together. I don't like to get into an argument if I don't have the facts.
especially when we do decide to get political off camera.
All right. Next thing on the list. Lego Movie gets a sequel.
And Batman is the
Star.
No. It's gonna be two separate movies, guys.
Seriously?
He's not good enough for one movie. He has to have two.
So there is going to be the Lego Movie sequel,
Okay.
which is going to basically follow up on the first movie and hopefully actually get an Emmy this time.
Yeah, not happening.
The Lego Movie was an amazing movie, I have to say.
Yeah, not
Especially
happening
as a-
considering the Emmys' way of judging shit.
Well, the
because it's all done by really old white men who don't give a crap.
how's that? I'm gonna skip the political joke and move on. The other thing is that they are making a separate Lego Batman movie.
Okay.
And that's going to take place, and that's going to be a separate thing. At least the way I understand it. Is that it's going to be two movies, not one.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently Legends deciding to walk off.
Very tempted. Yes, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I'm very tempted, yes.
Oh, relax, man. Why?
It's very difficult. Very, very difficult. I'm a little bit more uptight nowadays.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay. Well, we can go...
I recommend yoga.
I recommend let's stick with
Yoga fire! Well, he
Anyway.
is a practitioner of yoga, after all. It's awesome.
Alright.
Anyway.
So, now to the more sad news. Rest in peace, Leonard Nimoy.
Rest in peace, Leonard Nimoy. Well, at least we've got a Canada dollar named after him.
He lived long, and he prospered.
Indeed. To be honest, I wasn't really a fan of Star Trek. Sorry, people. I wasn't a fan. I actually was more of a fan of him on the TV show Fringe. You guys
I
never
have
saw...
no idea, sir.
Well, look it up. It's actually kind of an interesting sci-fi thing.
My dad's seen it. I just haven't taken around to look at it. I do enjoy him as Spock.
Yeah, he is good.
So, but again, so that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
The sunlight as monuments to him. There's plenty of tributes going around him. The Star Trek Online game is going to create a tribute to Leonard Nimoy in game, assuming that they're making a tribute to his character, Mr. Spock.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a thing that they'll have. And as Legend alluded to, the Canadian $5 bill is being printed with an image of Mr. Leonard Nimoy himself.
Yeah, it's like they took the original thing and sketched in Leonard Nimoy's face.
Yeah, and then someone else went ahead and added the details to make him look like Mr. Spock. Offside. So, but it's still a thing. Now we get on to the nerdy news.
We weren't there before?
Oh, but this one gets really nerdy. Like this is the stuff that we say you have absolutely no time on your hands, and you managed to do this.
Oh,
Or like-
you mean that one?
Yes.
I have to say this is brilliant on its own, and it's a cute little thing that I wish that they could have done.
So
And it's a good example of some nerds who have no life.
To be fair, that is their life. They make money off of that, and they have a gigantic fan base.
Fair enough.
You rip them off, that they will rip us a new one 7 ways to damn Sunday? You really want to light that fire, dude?
Nah, I'm messing with you, man.
You don't mess with the grumps. Don't do it.
You do know I'm not even a fan of them.
You know who is?
Everyone else.
My sister.
Hey.
Case closed.
Yeah.
So what did these guys do?
So the YouTuber Grump Out, I don't even know if it's one of the pair from the Game Grumps, but the YouTuber Grump Out went ahead, took time out of his day, and actually figured out appropriate hand clap sounds for each brawler in their defeat pose.
Which range from the kind of soft, like with gloves, like tap 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 for Mario, to the ridiculously hilarious
Like
Wario.
Wah!
which is funny, but then you get to Rob.
Which is just like a constant whirring of mechanical clicking.
I'm surprised his servos didn't burn out from that one.
And then there's also Zero Suit Samus, who is just clapping.
No, that's just regular Samus clanging the hand cannon.
Oh yeah,
Clang, clang, clang.
And then Mega Man's hand clap also sounded like that too.
Which was pretty cool. Because he doesn't look necessarily robotic, but it's easy to forget that he
The
is.
stupid ones were like Donkey Kong and Pikachu, which he actually voiced them as well.
His clapping skills, I will give him an A+ for. His voice acting could use just a little bit of work. I will say that.
I'd give him an E for effort, but in an actual grade, I give him a C-.
I say that it was smashing.
It was fun to watch, especially when you got to the Hail Marys and bad ones.
Speaking of voice actors, I'm regretting that both of you said out of camera that we're not going to be doing Dragon Ball Xenoverse.
Oh yeah, especially in light of
this fact.
Hey Vegeta, what does the scouter say about his power level?
Shut the fuck up, Nappa.
Oh my gosh, we got Takahata 101 as the voice. Voice hates in Xenoverse for your playable character.
Who is basically Nappa.
Yep.
And
Abridged Nappa is in the game.
And he even has some of the quotes from the abridged series in there.
Okay, so
like Space Australia.
Yeah,
yes.
Space Australia is one of the battle cries.
Yes. So what we're looking at is an ascended fanboy who has risen to such great levels that the base that he was a fan of has reached down to him and raised them into their ranks.
You're sounding like he was Jesus ascending into heaven.
At this point, this is a legendary move on the Dragon Ball.
Well, he does have the
Dragon Ball.
Are you saying he's Otaku Jesus?
No.
Possibly.
No.
That sounds like a hilarious username, by the way.
Otaku Jesus. You know, there actually is an anime where Jesus and Buddha actually live in an apartment together.
And it is very clever and well made.
Isn't there also another one where Jesus is the manager of a fast food restaurant and the devil is a fry cook?
No.
You're
but the fry cook thing is a thing.
Okay, where does Jesus work into that one?
He doesn't.
Okay, no, that's sad.
Okay, but anyway.
Yes.
This is awesome. I just have to say.
So I'm sad that we're not actually going to make a Nappa character. That would have been hilarious.
We would be a Nappa character amongst a sea of hundreds of thousands of Nappas. I am surprised, actually. I would not be surprised.
I'm surprised that no one else is just having the voice as theirs.
No, I'm pretty sure there is. The only thing is I don't know because I can't play video games, and neither of you know because neither of you have internet.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't trust my computer with.
No,
these
you don't.
games.
No, you just don't trust You don't trust Microsoft
I don't trust Microsoft because
for online play because they rip you off.
I got chased by someone named Candy Lipstick. Okay.
What?
Yes, I had a stalker by the name of Candy Lipstick
On Xbox Live.
No, this was on my personal computer, and one reason why I had to discontinue using it.
Oh, shit.
You think I don't trust Microsoft for no reason?
Well, hopefully they never find this.
Yeah, hopefully.
Worst case scenario, it was a dude.
I don't even want to know.
Worst case scenario, it was a 50-year-old balding dude.
Okay, just stop there.
No, even worse. It's a 50-year-old balding dude caught in an animatronic costume.
Oh, fuck, we're going there.
It's here. They're done. It's over. Five Nights at Freddy's is finished.
Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Markiplier has officially finished it on his channel. Well, but still.
Well, it's out. Everyone's done their Let's Plays. Everyone is squeeing over the fangasms.
And now we're waiting for the theories.
Yep.
Good Lord.
Good luck, Matt Pat. You're going to need it.
I mean, I think Scott Cawthon has done a fantastic job with the series.
Absolutely.
I believe interviews he said that he's not doing that this is the end of it.
Which is, I'm kind of glad that he is stopping here.
Yes, I'm glad too. I think that this is a fantastic end to a fantastic franchise, and I hope he has equally as interesting ideas in the future.
Oh yeah, because seriously, this was a horror game that kind of turned horror on its head for a little bit. Even if you're not scared of animatronics, it's still a creative idea, and it really kind of shook up the gaming community.
Yeah. I think what really shook up this, what caused the shakeup was the fact that it's not just the jump scares. Yes, that's the main core element. To
Also, the fact
what
it was kind of based on real life.
Well, the first
a lot
one,
of different elements. A lot of different elements. First off, yes, the fact that it was
Based off of a real killing back in the 80s.
right. There was, in fact, murder in a Chuck E. Cheese, and a lawsuit that did, a court case that did, in fact, follow it. But more to the point is the storytelling aspect.
Yeah.
And me as a writer, I do take great interest in this. Just the way that it gets across these little details.
The fact that
it's more intriguing than Stephen King, and yet just as scary as Edgar Allan Poe.
Mm-hmm. Although,
Absolutely.
and the really cool thing about Scott is that he knows how to put Easter eggs in to keep people guessing about what's really going on.
Mhm.
Like Golden Freddy, Shadow Bonnie.
I saw some of the shit that he was doing in order to get the good ending. Good God, that's really obscure.
Yeah, you know, basically.
props to the guys who found this.
Yeah, I mean, granted, people who do that probably just they literally break the game until they can figure out how it works. Literally doing things you would never think to do.
Like data mining and.
Not data mining. No, I mean like literally doing the old school click everything until it does something. Art of clue finding.
Yeah, and I actually saw, like, in the original, like, where Freddy goes down into one of the hallways, it had, like, the code on one side and it has, like, a bunch of symbols on the other. The symbols were for the arcade
We're not gonna spoil it for them.
Oh, fuck.
Well, but needless to say, yeah, just little things. Look for it, and you might just find it.
And even in some of the other games, there's still other things too. So I'm definitely looking forward to anything else this guy comes out with.
Yeah, I'd really like to see what he comes up with.
I think he brought out a new renaissance, not just for horror games, but for gaming in general.
Wait a minute. Wait. We're calling Freddy Fazbear the face of the video game renaissance?
It might be
Like one of the instigators
but
of it.
like remember how we had this huge boom back when Slender Man came out?
Right?
Yeah, that was a huge
And then
boost.
everything related came out Slender Man related, like Amnesia, all those games.
Now
This
we're gonna be looking
is
at
the next step in that evolution.
Mm-hmm.
which would be really intriguing. Just because the storytelling aspect said a lot of things that Dark Souls have been saying for a little while now. You don't need to give a narrative in order to tell a story with a video game.
And this is certainly a very contributing argument to that statement.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's next on the docket?
New Aliens movie.
This is your guys' territory because I've never seen it.
Ooh, shots fired.
No, not shots fired. I just simply never got around to seeing it.
Well, the first one was a really good horror movie. Second one, really good action movie. Third one, kind of depressing. Fourth
And
one,
everything after that started going down shit mountain.
yeah. Fourth, fifth, and all the versus Predator is kind of crap.
Okay, so where are we now?
So this one is supposed to come back, and it's going to be it's done by a different director, but it's supposed to be the third movie in the timeline.
Well, hopefully it won't be as shit as Prometheus was.
Well, hopefully it won't be as bad as Colonial Marines was.
Ooh.
That shot's fired.
Man.
So,
Well, I don't know.
That's not even shots fired. Everyone
I
knew it
haven't
was
heard
shit.
people trying to defend these movies, so
I'm pretty sure there's someone who is, but I mean, you can't defend Colonial Marines.
No, you can't. Nope.
So, but again, it's supposed to go ahead and feature Ripley, hopefully with a different ending compared to 3.
Yeah, because 3 was kind of stupid and depressing.
It might even go ahead and put Insurrection, or what's the video game that came out recently for the Aliens franchise?
Alien Isolation.
Isolation. And hopefully will include Isolation. Did you all just hear that?
That was the Ice Maker.
Okay, good.
Oh, right. I thought an animatronic was knocking on our door.
Actually, my friend Tag, he actually showed me. Someone actually made a full life animatronic version of Freddy Fazbear.
Pre murders or post murders?
Pre-murderous.
Okay.
Like, but he's got the whole stuttering voice, cyber voice and thing. It actually moves.
You know what I just imagined?
It's
right
creepy
now?
as all hell.
What
The voice
did you
is-
imagine?
I imagined that Freddy Fazbear animatronic speaking with the Pedo Bear guy voice.
I didn't even know Pedo Bear had a voice.
Hi, kids.
Ugh. Way to make my skin crawl, legend.
So we're looking that one into 2015.
Okay, so did we just create a moment where that was actually scarier than the Alien movie? Oh boy.
All right, next movie is going to be more interesting. Resurrection of Frieza comes out in Japan April 18th.
Because that dead horse has not been beaten enough!
Yeah.
To be fair, they get to actually use the maximum of the hormone song this time.
Frieza, Frieza! I can't sing it in tune.
No, yeah, you are.
I'm losing my voice here.
To be honest, you're also kind of tone deaf.
I'm not that tone deaf.
Well, considering the recording.
You don't have to be tone deaf for death metal. You just have to shout really loud and peak the mic.
Also, if I was tone deaf, I wouldn't know that I was making the sour notes.
True.
But
you
anyway,
do sing that tune.
Occasionally. Frieza's back. He's going to cause a blood genocide on Earth, and
he
apparently Goku can't stop him.
And apparently he's got a new form, and Lord Beerus is back.
Joy! And he's just watching, I think.
I think he's.
He's just like,
I
hey
think he
guys,
just.
I'm back.
I think he just pulled out the popcorn and was watching.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's saying Goku's fucked.
Yeah.
I wonder how he gets himself out of this one. No.
Okay.
Nevertheless, it comes out in Japan on April 18th. No word if it's going to hit stateside anytime soon.
Well, considering how long it took for the Battle of the Gods film to come over, it's difficult to say.
Yeah. So, will we go see that movie when it comes out?
Fuck yeah.
Heck yeah! All three of us if we can.
Alright.
The next on the list. Unified Weapon Masters starts up 22nd Century Gladiators.
Fuck yes! I'd love to see this!
This is an initiative done in, of all places, Australia.
Well, I wouldn't mind going down under if I could get into some of that technology.
I thought you were going to say underneath that Bonnie Lass's skirt.
No, that would be you. I'm a bigger fan of the sword.
Oh my.
No.
And Legend immediately regrets his choice of words.
Oh no.
And
I still
now
have
there's-
my katanas.
And now there's potential pairings of you and me. Way to go, man. Way to go.
What? How did that become...
I'm not sure that impalement is a form of...
Slash fic.
Fetish.
That would be the literal version, unfortunately.
Yes.
Nevertheless, what this is this is two dudes in the most advanced armor we've ever seen, hacking and slashing at each other with weapons.
Yes.
It looks amazing.
They are literally trying to bring back gladiatorial fights, like real gladiator fights.
Minus the death.
Minus the
death, and that's what they're doing with these highly advanced suits of armor.
highly advanced suits of armor, modified weapons that feel like real weapons but will not cause damage.
I want to see this become a sport.
I mean, that's what they're going for.
And not an extreme sport. I mean, like a goddamn freaking Olympic sport. I would love to see world-class gladiatorial combat.
Legend's having a nerdgasm.
Yes! I have been a major purveyor of medieval weaponry and even Roman weaponry all the way back. If you could hold it in your hand and swing it without any innuendos, damn you, then I am a big fan of it.
And hopefully they'll also have diverse weapon loadouts, much like actual Roman gladiators did.
Yeah.
Well, I saw in the images that was in there, like one was carrying an axe, one was carrying a sword.
Yeah.
And hopefully they go once it starts picking up traction, they actually go more, and they have it becomes Tiger and Bunny, and there's different companies sponsor armors.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, and they'll have different weapons. Like they'll have their own designed spears and swords and shields.
Oh yeah, I would be a big fan of either the sword or the spear.
This battle brought to you by Mountain Dew.
I wouldn't mind at all. I wouldn't mind at all.
And you can just see a giant glowing green armor with Mountain Dew just logoed on the chest.
Personally, I would prefer Pepsi or Dr. Pepper, but yeah, that works.
I don't actually like Mountain Dew. I hate the stuff.
Oh yeah,
It
because
makes me sick to my stomach. Anyway.
Yeah, because it's basically pure liquid sugar.
No,
No, it's pure liquid sugar and acid.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway,
we're also going back in time because apparently GameStop is accepting trades for PS2 games again.
Wait, what?
oh yeah,
We're in the
they did-
PS4 era, and they're bringing back PS2 trade-ins.
Yes.
Will they actually have PS2 games at the store?
I have no fucking clue.
If
well,
they
we'll have
do,
to see. We'll have to see.
if they do, I gotta make a trip to GameStop because
Yeah,
there's
I
some
do know that they were selling the PS2 controllers.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've been making a lot of stops today. I do know.
So
They actually have more for the PS2 than they do for anything for the mobile devices.
no shit.
They have like this tiny little section that's dedicated to that stuff. It's
Seriously.
tiny, like hidden in the corner. Like, please steal it. We
Serious-
don't need this.
Seriously, I think our local GameStop is running out of room.
Well, to
Yeah,
be
but
fair,
it's
they
really
chose the wrong spot to put a location in.
That's true. They needed a bigger building.
Like the one freaking Little Caesars has.
Yeah.
Like, just tear down the wall and just expand into the Little Caesars.
Pizza to go.
Talk about that for a hostile takeover.
Pizza to go.
just take the entire strip. Because God knows we don't need that Chinese place anymore.
No, the one there is okay. The one you're thinking of is the one that's close to Walmart. The one with the crotchety old lady that doesn't like Legend.
She doesn't like anyone.
Good point. Anyway, what's next? HTC, the electronics giant, hypes up Half-Life VR video game.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
No, it's a legitimate thing. HTC has their own VR set along the lines of Oculus, and they're teaming up with Steam.
Yeah, but I really doubt Half-Life 3 is coming to the Oculus Rift.
At this point, Half-Life 3 is a non-issue. We don't need to worry about it because it's not going to happen.
Well, not just that, but they're also saying Portal 3 could also be a thing for that system.
Well, technically they could do a Portal 3.
They could, but would it be good of them to do so?
We don't know.
Depends on whether or not they do it right.
Well,
You know what it is? Portal 3, Half-Life 3, Team Fortress 3.
Oh, you want to make it a three
trilogy.
package?
No. It's not a trilogy package. It's a menage a trois.
The big 3 package.
Well, if
It's-
you want
it's-
big
it's-
3 sausages in your face, go right ahead.
God damn it! Can you have a sentence where you don't have an innuendo in it?
Yes, but it wouldn't be as much fun, would it?
And there it is again.
Well, if you want to talk about sausages, I've got a meat grinder you need to worry about.
Yeah, it's actually called Oblatus.
Okay.
Oh,
Obladi oblada? Or what are we looking at?
In the Indie Horror Corner, we have that video game I showed you guys, Oblatus, which is otherwise, when can we stop calling things Dark Souls inspired?
when Bloodborne comes out, then we can call it Bloodborne inspired.
No, it would still be Dark Souls inspired.
So this game coming out for the PC is, I would say, the combination of Dark Souls with Tearaway.
I've never played Tearaway.
It's a PSP PS3 game that basically is Little Big Planet with paper mache.
And I hate Little Big Planet, so there you go.
Oh, you can't hate Little Big Planet.
Watch me.
So this one has things climbing around, throwing your spear at things, trying not to die,
Yeah.
and it's basically looks and feels similarly to Dark Souls, albeit with more platforming.
And with one major thing that they have changed up. That is that you only have one life.
Mm-hmm. And no
It's-
Estus, as
No
far as I can
Estus
see.
or anything of the sort. You only have one weapon. If you die, you restart the game.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I think there might be eventually checkpoints later on in the level. You looked? That is bullshit. That is early NES hard bullshit.
Yep.
So, fuck you.
That's the consensus. Fuck you.
Yeah.
All right then. Moving
Well,
on.
so much for advertiser this thing. We just said fuck you to the game.
Okay,
Okay, so we did that. So covering an indie game we talked about earlier, Darkest Dungeon. To those of you who bought the Steam version, thank you for doing that. You're awesome.
Those who bought the Windows Store version,
You done fucked.
yeah, because that one is illegal. Like,
Probably illegal if you bought it before the showing of this podcast. It's probably resolved by now, but still, you probably shouldn't get it from there.
yeah, and if you did,
piracy is not a good thing to
Well, it's not
Dig into
piracy.
If I remember right, it was like what 2 megabytes big or something.
Yeah, it was the file was. So the deal is this: someone uploaded Darkest Dungeon, not the original owner. Some
Jackass.
uploaded it to Microsoft Store, got it approved, and was selling a bootleg copy for $3.
And it wasn't
Oh,
even
boy.
the full game. It was like what 2 or 3 megabytes big.
Yeah,
And that's telling me it might also be malware.
right. But the point is, it got passed off and was actually being sold in the Microsoft video game store. For
So
the games for Windows.
So you guys that
more
did buy it
stuff.
from. So if you guys did buy it from the Windows Store, better check your computers for any viruses.
Yet another reason for me to trust Microsoft.
Not trust Microsoft.
Right.
Right.
You said trust Microsoft.
Yes, ironically.
Yeah.
Irony does not seem to work well in legal language.
No, it doesn't.
No, because there's too
It
much.
doesn't work.
There's too much wiggle room with irony. You need cold hard facts with the law.
Binding cold hard facts.
Oh my.
You're the one saying wiggle room.
No, shut up. Anyway, the next thing on our list is Final Fantasy Record Keeper, the true Final Fantasy crossover game, which looks like All the Bravest.
Of course, it's gonna look like All the Bravest. It has the same pixelated art style,
And it looks exactly like it.
except for the fact that there's only 5 characters maximum on the screen, not 50.
Still, not buying it. Don't give a rat's ass.
Because you yourself don't buy mobile games to begin with.
Even if I'm still a Final Fantasy fan. I still like Final Fantasy even after the shit that I had to deal with 13.2 and 13.3.
I think we need to show that on video at one point.
What?
The tyrantal rage of Final Fantasy 13 that you have.
Oh,
The massive hate boner that you have for that game.
You know what? I'm going to need a lot of booze for that one.
Exactly.
We're going to do it.
No, not like a let's play. Just show how much you hate the game.
No, I am going to do a drunk let's play of that.
Oh,
we can't call that.
we're gonna have to cut you off an hour in because of how bad you're gonna be drunk, dude.
Or the fact that the electronics are going to be soaked with booze after you've thrown it all over the place in your anger.
One of the two.
Well, I did.
Either way, the point of this game is that it's supposed to be a actual RPG with the titular characters from all the games. Unfortunately, including 13.
Well, actually, to be fair, 13's character Lightning was one of the few tolerable ones.
I'm sorry.
In the first one, yeah, she was
In the first game, she was tolerable, but at the end, she kind of became a little crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
I'm talking about at the end of the first game, too.
Well, she originally didn't have her head stuck up her own ass,
Look,
but then Final Fantasy happened.
Well, yeah, because the writers didn't know how to write for crap.
I don't know. If Saz was the main character, I think it would have been slightly more fun.
But seriously, Saz had no reason to be in that game. He had no reason
Exactly, which is why he would make the perfect protagonist.
So he would be like Vaughn. Or Titus.
Okay, Titus is a bit of a stretch. Vaughn is probably a closer argument.
Because seriously, Vaughn...
Because Titus is the exact opposite in which he fucks shit up by being there, which is the entire point of him being there.
Yeah.
So he can fuck shit up.
True.
Vaughn has absolutely no point.
Yeah, he's just an audience proxy for like the first 2 hours of the game.
If they killed off Vaughn and then switched to Bosch, that would have been fine.
Yeah.
We would have averted quite a bit of the problems with 12.
Yeah, the only problem with that game is the MMO style.
I can forgive the MMO style. I think Vaughn and Penelope are a bigger problem.
Yeah.
Regarding that, the point of it, some chick, some person named Dexy can actually work between the worlds via Super Mario style. And that's basically how the plot starts.
So we're basically doing the Hyrule Warriors thing where we rip off Space and Time and rip off all other fan.
Correct!
Congratulations! We're now ripping off a ripping off.
Yeah, so...
Joy.
Moving on, let's go into Amiibo news.
Now we are getting... Well, looks like you are out of luck if you're looking for a Golden Mario.
Really? They were even out?
Well, let's just say that...
Seriously, let me say this. You never know when these things are being released. And the second you know that they're released...
They're gone.
They're gone. And you're never going to see another thing like that for the next 3 months, or 4, or 5, or never. Seriously, fuck you, Nintendo!
It's not Nintendo's fault that we like their stuff so much.
You peeked the mic.
I don't give a rat's ass!
How many times have you said that now? Could we make a drinking game out of it?
Yes, we could!
We would die. We would fucking die.
Let me get the whiskey.
Hey.
Whiskey, we would be absolutely dead. We would have livers. We would need liver transplants to the next 5 years.
Oh, God.
Okay, but yeah, golden Marios are gone. I'm not sure about the silver ones, but I think they're on their way out too.
They're probably gone as well. At least by the time we post this, they're probably gone.
Yeah, I don't think Nintendo realized, or I think they might just realize just how potent this market is.
To be fair, if they're selling out this quickly, they're probably in no rush to put more on the shelves.
Hey, it's money. It's business.
I know, but the thing is, they're stalling with the production of more of them, and they're even considering doing the whole card shit, which would have been a much smarter idea.
Again, I think we've discussed this before, where doing them both would solve the problem, and a necessary substitution would be heresy.
Yes.
I think we've had this discussion on the last podcast.
Yeah.
If not the one before.
Yes.
So let's move on.
Nintendo is not controlled by a single person. It's controlled by a panel.
And it's controlled by a bunch of really old...
Asian men.
Yeah.
Not white men, Asian men. Because you were going to say white men.
No, I was going to
Yes, you were going to say white men.
I am not racist!
To yourself?
Mm-hmm.
I will shut up now.
Thank you. Okay, so the other thing, aside from the fact that, yeah, more amiibos are gone, the ones that aren't selling are being put on discount. Specifically, Peach, Yoshi, and DK are all getting price drops.
Seriously, and I thought Peach was going to be a rare one.
Well, Peach might come back, considering the fact that considering all three of them have Mario Party 10 support. They might bounce back, but for now they're being sold at a discounted price. So if any of you like those characters, use them for Smash or Mario Party, now's the time to go get them. Because I do believe in earlier reports they were saying that the ones that weren't selling were eventually going to be discontinued. And I feel like these three would be the first ones to get the walking papers.
Seriously, Nintendo, what the hell?
Future video.
Anyway.
So, the last thing on the docket, which Legend will hopefully sit back down for, Ravenloft.
Oh, God, we're already an hour and 11 minutes in.
Well, here comes the next hour. Sorry, guys, but you know what? Let's jump right in.
So, where do we begin?
We begin it with where we ended it off.
Jumping through a mirror into a
Ziggurat.
Yeah, we were fully expecting to land right on top of a Mayan ziggurat in the midst of their ritual, and then going ahead and bullshitting our way into saying, "We are gods!"
But no, that's not what happened. We ended up appearing behind everyone praying to the priest.
And as it turns out, that was a very good thing, because whatever was happening up there, we didn't want happening to us.
Yeah, so apparently what was going on were prisoners were being turned into mongrel men.
Yes, being turned into these half-human, half-animal hybrids, and being basically shoved down the stairs and exiled from the city.
Yeah.
So not furries.
Yes, not furries.
Not furries.
Let's make that perfectly clear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, we decided to slink out the back.
After watching Tails' character Abby have a seizure, and me bleeding out of my ear holes.
And being deaf for a little bit.
Yeah, you were being quite obnoxious with that, if I do recall.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he was
What
going...
does eggs have to do anything with this situation?
Gus, you're going to be scrambled very, very shortly.
Yeah.
So we go ahead and start...
No, I don't want Bramblewood, please, thank you.
We start going through the city, and we start making survival rolls right off the bat.
Well, my character does.
What we to orient ourselves.
Yes, we orient ourselves, and then my character, Chester, since he is good with urban survival, he goes ahead and starts making a map, starts exploring the area, making a map of everything, learning where everything is. And we start to hide and take refuge in an alleyway, try to keep away out of view, because apparently foreigners are
Preyed upon.
Kinda, and are very rare.
Well, there's a lot of things that go on. Part of it is that the city we are in has a very Buddhist vibe to it, taken to the extreme.
Buddhist would be pleasant. This is fast central. And by fast central, I mean this is a place where food and gluttony in general is considered sinful.
Yeah,
Food is harvested by the people and taken up to the priesthood.
and like 90% of it is kept by the temple.
The priests dole out a
Ration.
a ration to the town every 2 to 3 days.
And you're supposed to fast in between them.
Supposed to.
Yeah.
Of course, we're a bunch of thieves and we are hungry.
Well, a bunch of foreigners and we are hungry.
Well, 2 knights and 2 thieves.
Anyway,
Well, I'm not technically
we find out the taboos and the lore of the city. Among things, selling food is prohibited and is considered a major felony. Being fat is considered a crime against God.
So, our Tails' character Jothra would be
executed on the spot or persecuted.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what the third thing was. I think it was, and the third thing was everyone obeys the god Zakata the Destroyer or be killed.
Yeah.
Yes, and there is no Zakata the Provider.
Well, people on the street speak of this dual embodiment god. One is supposed to be the destroyer, the other part's supposed to be the provider, but the second part isn't talked about as much in the priesthood.
In fact, it's kind of considered blasphemy.
So we go ahead, we buy some necessary supplies,
Except for food.
except for food, obviously, but we still have rations that from beforehand, and conveniently the next ration day is the next day, so we do not have to worry about food too much.
Yeah, for a little bit.
That being said, that doesn't prevent Tails' character from going to the underworld and trying to find out where the black market food comes from.
This plays a bigger part later, but yeah. And
She
Tails was very, very forward with the merchant, if I do recall.
She talks to this kingpin-looking fucker.
Who literally looks like the Kingpin.
Well,
literally is a fucker.
He's fat. He is a mob boss. He keeps a harem of fat women with him, which I guess is considered beautiful if you want to go ahead that route. But again, chubby chaser much? Either way, Tails' character Abby finagles with him and manages to one, get a shipment of food for the party prepared for us, and also managed to go ahead and find out where the connections are to get the food smuggled come from.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Which plays an important role for the heist that we pull later on.
Yep. What happens afterwards is when the GM decides to.
Well, amongst other things, you and Abby go to the university and do some background information.
Right.
I do backgrounds, money making stuff. I don't know what the hell you do during our spare time.
Well, what was happening in our spare time
Because
I was busy cleaning up armor and everything, but I was also engaging in secret conversations with the GM. During which I decide to fail an impulsiveness roll.
God damn it.
And touch the Crown of Souls with my hands.
Why?
Plot.
Because
bad things happening progresses the plot. It would also give us more information about the crown, which I did in fact end up getting. I resisted a will roll perfectly fine and was able to communicate with the spirit inside the crown, who is your stereotypical demon lord. I can give you power, I can give you wealth, I can talk like Arnold Schwarzenegger or whatever. But apparently, I was able to not only talk and resist my way out of it, but also to convince it to tell me its damn name. Dagland. Which may or may not be an anagram now I think about it. But, yes, I was able to get its name.
I'm going to start writing this down and see if I can find the true name of this demon.
It might come up, yes.
Yeah, because something tells me this crown is going to give us a lot of grief.
Of course it is. It's the single most powerful artifact that we've run into as of yet.
And thankfully Chester's not holding it because
Yeah, I'm not letting you anywhere near it.
Yeah.
After what it told me and what I've seen of you, hell no, you're not getting anywhere near it.
No, you know what's going to happen is you're going to start devolving into freaking...
Smeagol?
Smeagol, yes.
My precious.
Yes, that's exact. And in fact, several of the conversations we were having out of character following the session...
No, wait, not
made me
Smeagol,
think
Gollum.
Oh, Smeagol is the real form.
Yeah.
Smeagol falls into Gollum, but again, That's what you were doing with some of your conversations we were having out of character after the session.
What?
You wanted to go ahead and not sell it off to the Vistani right away.
I don't trust anyone with this thing.
My
Least of
precious,
all-
my precious, my precious, my precious.
Shut up. Least of all ourselves, least of all anyone. I don't believe anyone should have this thing.
So why
no one should have it.
why haven't you taken the Gallagher hammer to it yet?
Because I'm pretty sure that it would actually attack me if I tried.
Well, there you go.
I do believe that we need to destroy it. That's my stance on this thing. It needs to be destroyed.
Shall we go find Mount Doom?
If we could find it, I would most certainly go there. But the mists are very, very fickle, as you would know.
How about we just toss the Crown of Souls into that one seal area we were talking about earlier?
Which seal area?
For the end part of what we're... You know what, never mind. When we get to it, I'll mention it again.
Okay, so we go ahead after the party reconvenes, and we decide to go pick up our black market food.
Oh, joy.
The GM!
Sting attack! Sting operation occurs, and the meeting place gets swarmed by city guard.
With us there.
Cutscene fight begins.
In which
We
the GM decides to take the kitty gloves off.
and face us with no restrictions.
Well,
Human versus human combat.
to be fair, he wasn't using, he only used 50, 75 point characters to our 200 plus.
And
Yes.
I still call bullshit on that.
To be fair, one, we were outnumbered. Two, very early on into the fight, Tails decides to pull both herself and the healer away from the action.
And then what happens after that is something that's I need to go into in depth.
Well,
Yes.
I'm giving you the floor.
Go ahead.
So, a really annoying enemy was right behind me, facing Alba, I believe.
Yes.
And it was in prime location for me, now having learned my techniques, to go up behind it and cut his neck off. With no problems whatsoever. I rolled a crit. I rolled a natural 3. That guy's head was going to be sent flying off. And then the GM decides to pull the ultimate dick move. And he says, no he didn't. Didn't happen.
And so he reveals your secret disadvantage. Unlucky.
In which he has one fuck you a game.
He has one insta counter a game to go ahead and negate a player's dice roll.
Yep.
A crit hitting for max damage plus whatever I was going to roll for the crit table.
I really could have. I'm really mad at that he did that too at that particular moment.
To be fair, that's kind of the point.
I know it is kind of the point, and it is kind of good on the GM that he's finally bringing out these secret disadvantages, but that one was a horrible, horrible move.
I would have gladly taken something else other than seizures.
I was going to say, he fails your greed roll to go ahead and not sell off the Crown of Souls. Like I said, it could be worse. He also later told me he could have just failed the defense roll to stab you in the face, and that would have also equally have done it.
Yeah, because what happened afterwards after I missed, another guy came up from behind me, targeted my head,
and went ahead and let you have it.
Funnily enough, the same thing happens to Alba later, but considering the fact that you had been hit twice in this particular turn of action, yeah, it hurt quite a bit, especially because I think on both instances he rolled max damage.
He rolled max damage because I used...
Yeah.
I burned 2 plot points, and it was still max damage.
Yeah, I know, it was crazy.
Yeah, I burned 2 of my 3 plot points for a reroll. He hit max damage, and not to mention the fact that I had no DR on my head because I had no helmet.
Right.
Thankfully, you were able to remain conscious long enough
To run the fuck away.
Yeah, I remember distinctly telling you, get out of here.
Yeah.
Get your character out of here, and I willfully decided to go berserk.
Mm-hmm.
And that actually ended up helping us survive the encounter quite a bit, because once I went full on berserk, all their aggro was on me.
Yeah.
And considering also the fact that my weapon, I forgot about that, but let me get into that. The besides the fact that my weapon was visibly sparking and whatnot, now I was foaming at the mouth and going all out on whoever was anywhere near me. I'm pretty sure they all wet themselves at the sight of me and decide I am the one that needs to die now, because if they don't get rid of me now, screw the thief, we're not walking away from this.
Yeah,
and
because
several of them didn't.
Yeah, because I was at -4 hit points, and I'm pretty sure by the time that happened, I was ready to walk out. I literally walked out of the campaign for a moment.
Yeah, it was pretty much the expected reaction of you. A poor reaction, but still the reaction we expected from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm lucky! I'm lucky!
It's a 10-point disadvantage.
And he still has 5 points for me, and he's going to introduce those next campaigns. I guarantee it.
Well, consider this. You had a minus 15 secret disadvantage, 10 points of which went to unlucky.
Now it's only -5.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, consider this. I have a minus 20 secret disadvantage.
Oh, fuck.
Also, consider this. When I looked at the character sheet for HP that I walked out of that battle, I was at minus 19.
Seriously?
Yep.
I was at -4, you was at -19. How the fuck were you still alive?
Because he hasn't...
Hard work and determination.
By the way, amongst the other -15 disadvantages you could have been given, alcoholism.
I wouldn't have minded that.
You wouldn't have mind losing one stat point at the end of every year.
Oh, fuck no.
Bad back, which means that you can crit fail on 17s or 18s for acrobatics.
Oh god, that is awful.
One eye. You suddenly lose an eye.
Well, that wouldn't count as a secret disadvantage.
Well, he could. Suddenly your eye doesn't work.
Yeah, and considering I was mind blasted by a freaking thing that should not be, I would expect that kinda.
Chronic depression is a -50-point disadvantage.
Oh, that one is mean! Roll to do anything. You roll to eat. You roll to drink. You roll to wake up in the morning. You roll to go to sleep. You roll to go outside the door. You roll to open the door. You roll to talk to your friends. You roll to do anything with your friends. You roll to do anything.
God damn it.
I've done my research into this one, because one of my characters is depressed. Moderately so.
Compulsive lying.
That would be funny as hell.
Well, considering my
It would be
character...
bullshit, but it would be funny
Well,
as hell.
considering my character is the Cheshire Cat...
Yeah, but it would be something that you would willfully do.
You can't... it's actually something you can't control. That's why you have to roll the dice.
Yes,
so every 1 out of 4 statements that you say is a lie. And we would have to figure out which one it is.
and also you have to make all your rolls in secret.
And you couldn't tell us.
Yes.
So, it could be significantly worse.
Oh, yeah.
Also, for alcoholism, you have to drink every chance you get. And every time you drink, you have to drink to excess. You have to roll. If you fail, you drink to excess.
Which means you get a chance to either A, pass out drunk, or B, pass out dead drunk.
Oh, fuck.
So, again, things could have been much worse.
And now you only have to worry about, if you buy off unlucky, you only have to worry about a 5-point secret disadvantage.
I know, and I'm still pissed off about that considering what happens at the end of the campaign, but we'll get to that.
All things considered, it could be worse. Again, the -15 ones are significantly worse than the -5. It gives you, in addition, it's the worst thing that he could possibly give you would be something like guilt complex or gluttony, where the worst you feel thing is you eat more, or you suddenly feel more guilty about things. So,
which would be kind of bullshit considering that you work as a thief.
Yeah.
Well, it's misfortunes that happen to you or your friends, so it's not something that would interfere with his line of work. But again, they're very innocuous compared to the 10 to 15 ones.
Yeah, the 10 to 15 ones can be crippling.
And any more than that are obviously insane.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of insane,
So,
you also managed to...
well, that's not till the end of the campaign.
All right. You want to get to that.
Yes, let's do this in chronological order since we're doing this in chronological order.
All right, we'll do this in chronological order.
So we beat Legend and Knight characters beat most of the army except for one staff slinger who runs off. And we also hightail it out of there limping and making sure nothing worse happens.
Well, it wasn't just limping. It was only one of us who managed to walk away from this battle, besides the enemy.
Well, because you fell unconscious because you went out of your berserk state.
Which is a good thing, because I didn't want to be berserk when you came around. Unfortunately, getting out of my berserk state did force me to make an HT roll to stay conscious. I failed. I fell asleep right there with minus 19 hit points.
So the mass healing began once we got back to our board for the night.
Poor Terra. Poor Terra.
And we ended up chugging all our health potions.
We eventually get after a long charade of disguising ourselves, we get contacted by the underground group rebelling against the priesthood, who agrees to allow us to team up under the condition we assist them in freeing the quote unquote good half of Zakata, which is imprisoned out in the desert.
We have our misgivings about that now that we've done further research, but at this time we don't have anything concrete.
And to be honest, they're the only ones who are willing to help us get out of here, so we have no better choices.
Yeah.
Right.
So the operation becomes a scene from Ocean's 11, by which we infiltrate the priesthood disguised as priests, sneak in, almost Assassin's Creed style.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were basically dressed as the priest, so we
Sneak
just walked in.
Sneak into the main chapter, manage to go ahead and bluff our way to get to be left alone in the main sacred hall.
Didn't my character convince them by saying that I mutilated my body for Cicada?
Well, you did that as a bluff, so that way you'd be more revered.
Yeah.
But eventually it came down to the distraction coming in, which was a mongrel man rebellion.
Which
was
amazing in and of itself, did have its own little consequences, I think.
Well, amongst others, but while we were up in the main tower, we began the heist.
Yes. First, we needed to clear out this little ash pit that was apparently burying this thing. The GM's suggestion, I created a windstorm using my magic swordsman, and got rid of the dust. We almost died of coughing, but we got rid of the dust.
Yeah.
The next, Tails' character went ahead and climbed into the mouth of the ash pit was inside the mouth of a giant statue, which Abby climbed into to retrieve the object, upon which Final Fantasy / Kingdom Hearts style, the statue awakens and begins a fight.
Yeah, closing its mouth and trapping Abby inside.
So we all begin to smash at the statue to try to get a weak point or take it down.
I went ahead and started attacking it at the knees and the joints.
So did I. It didn't work for me.
And what happened next on the GM's turn was the most ingenious act of ingenuity and probably his biggest mistake that he made during the entire campaign.
He goes ahead.
He chooses to act out a battle roar for the monster, upon which Tails immediately responds, I jump out of the monster's mouth.
Which was brilliant!
The GM looked so... It looked like he got the... How do I put this? The wind was taken out of his sails. He simply went flaccid. Right on the spot.
He was gobsmacked.
He had a giant mouthful of humble pie, and it tasted like castor oil.
Yes! She makes the acrobatics roll and gets out scot-free and goes ahead and bolts to the door with the talisman in hand.
Into which we immediately start to run away.
Well,
and then we
do this two ways. The first way is that
Alba, my character.
Alba and Terra. Alba casts Walk on Air.
But what happened with that was that I critted on that.
So the GM says, okay, you can fly.
Yeah, I'm now apparently Superman.
By which you go
or
ahead.
Woman.
By which you go ahead.
We still don't know.
By which
or hermaphrodite.
You don't know.
Super Herm.
Super Herm. Well, Tara and I make a dashing escape out the window and fly out into the air 6 stories down, and we make it to the bottom where we see the rest of the mongrel men die.
So,
which was very sad.
While that happens, the following happens on the inside. Abby and I are harassing the monster by the door which we boarded up to make sure that we are not interrupted while we commence the heist.
Which was a stupid idea.
In hindsight.
Yes.
In hindsight. We didn't expect the statue to come alive. You know, we have a thing about statues coming alive. We don't have any means to take them down.
To be fair,
you're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to, and also to be fair, it's becoming an overused meme. We need to bring this up.
Yeah,
the statues coming to life?
Yes.
That we can't do diddly shit about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it works.
So it causes us to be creative.
What we do is Chester is still hacking at its knees and hacking at the support panel behind its back. But Abby and I go ahead and do the better thing. We taunt the monster to punch open our boarded up door.
And you said some of the most amazing insults.
Sakata is fat. Oh, when we heard that was.
No, the one that was good was your mother is so fat when she burned on the funeral pyre it was lit for 7 days.
That was the best medieval Yo Mama joke I've heard in years, in my life. It is the best.
See, I can do good puns too.
Yes, you
So
can.
either way, the monster busts down the door. There's a group of priests surprised, to which we go ahead and say, Zakata's wrath is upon us! Run!
Run for your lives!
Repent! Repent!
Upon which they proceed to go ahead and run and do so.
Yes, the GM loved it so much he even got in on it. It was only a single crust, I swear.
I didn't mean to cause the end of the world. I'm sorry.
As we sneak out, we actually run into a sermon done by the head priest of Zakata, to which Abby goes ahead and converses with him.
They ask.
In a sudden moment of sanity, she rolls a crit on her theology roll.
First is what she says.
She says the taboo thing, which you're not supposed to say,
is that
Zakata has two aspects. We both say the destroyer because we don't want to get our asses handed to us.
she says the provider, and then crits on her theology roll.
By which she is able to successfully go not only talk to him, but also convince him of the legitimacy of the argument.
Yes! And then she reminds him, oh, by the way, there's a statue running around outside.
We should probably
And then
get
he
on
goes
that.
like, what?
What? I must go see this. He goes off in one direction, we go off in the other.
We go ahead and we proceed to, from that point, grab our shit and exit the city.
Yeah. And then we proceed to go ahead and meet up with...
Well, as we exit the city, thus begins the hunting minigame.
Fuck the hunting minigame.
Yeah, because
So-
apparently I managed to crit my desert survival, even though I didn't have it.
Well, we all had survival rolls of various other areas, and therefore we had to roll defaults to desert survival.
Right.
But
So-
I ended up critting and becoming the leader of the party.
For the
Yes.
survival portion, by which we had to hunt for provisions and then journey along like it's Don't Starve.
Yeah, and then I had to make rolls for us to make sure that we didn't get hurt.
By which we failed. By which you failed twice.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Tara took the brunt of that one, honestly.
Yeah.
Not in damage, because it was actually me taking damage most of the time.
She was the one doing all the healing.
Yeah, and she kept us pretty
That being
strong.
said, it's very generous of the GM to give the party a healer when the party lacks one.
Well, we saved her.
I know.
We earned it.
I know, but I'm saying that it's very generous that he gave us a healer when that was the one problem we were having.
Yeah.
So that is proof that he is not a heartless, soulless man.
I never said he was.
And
You
also,
were thinking it.
No, he's just a dick.
Well then.
well, another thing that also had kept being brought up was the fact that I needed to create water for the party. We were out in the middle of the Badlands, so...
Yeah, and since you had it, and, well, Mika would have been useful here as well.
But
I
again,
was also one of the few characters who actually had a ranged attack.
no, everyone had a range attack except for Chester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were hunting for food, which we made various rolls, and we eventually.
Okay, I just need to confirm this. You had lances.
I had javelins.
Yeah, the javelins which you could throw. What
Abby?
did Abby have?
Pistol crossbow.
She had the pistol crossbow, and I
had
had
magic.
lightning.
Yeah.
I shoot things with lightning to kill them. I wasn't very successful most of the time, though.
No.
which proves the legitimacy of our argument.
Yeah.
That being said, we eventually, after I think about a week, we make it to the characters. We make it to the
Mongrel
woman
Man
camp,
camp.
which is supposed to be which is where we're supposed to meet up with the resistance group.
Mhm.
Right.
We take some spare time, and I undergo a side quest to join a cult which has a elf god that essentially is the closest thing to a good cult that this world has. It's the closest thing to Christianity, I would say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with none of the unfortunate downsides, I think, that we know of thus far.
Yeah, that we don't know of, and
What proceeded to happen was something that caused Leo to rage for quite a while.
not rage. It was more of a you son of a.
Yeah, now you know how I felt during the whole.
To be fair, I'm not as salty as you are about it because you are still salty about this argument, this incident.
Well,
I am 90% salt.
To be fair, as mediator, I do have to be fair. When it happened to him, he actually did lose out on something that did, in fact, affect the battle.
Which was?
Which was the fact that
I would have ended up decapitating someone.
he would have removed one party from the battle.
And possibly terrified.
Terrified others, as well as made it easier for us to win the battle.
Oh, right. Because
Yes, and it did eventually get us all hurt, that this actually happened.
Yeah.
I'm confused. What?
My beheading, my fail of my unluckiness.
The fail for him
Would have been worse for us?
Yes, because of this. We were immediately affected by it. The fact that this man did not die and was able to turn around and inflict damage
Right.
would probably be worse than the sudden realization that we weren't as good as we were.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Which you can redeem. He has to buy it all off, but
I can get rid of it.
he can get rid of it immediately. And yes,
So what you're saying is that it's glad because at this point it could have been worse.
yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
it could have been worse. And honestly, less damage was done because of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can agree with you on that point.
Okay, so what did you discover?
So I discovered that I'm not because of my previous actions in some of the other episodes. I'm actually slightly, majorly delusional in my status of being a chivalrous knight.
Wait, what?
Yes. For a 10-point disadvantage, the GM granted the secret disadvantage.
No. It's not a secret disadvantage. It's a penalty. It was a penalty for not keeping up to my minus 15 chivalry. He divided it into minus 5 bandits code, which he later explained to me, which would have helped in character creation, that not all knights carry the minus 15 code of chivalry, because it is a pain in the ass.
Yes.
Which would have been helpful in earlier development in his characterization, but he gave me the penalty of having a minor delusion, the major delusion, thinks he's a chivalrous knight, which gives me reaction penalties.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it's a bad thing considering the fact that my handsomeness basically negates that, but it's still something that I find rather annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Nevertheless, it basically opens up the side quest for me to go ahead, remove the caress, which is the dark power's influence on me, which is something that I can explore after I pull the character out of the party.
Yeah,
This little vigil, which I undergo, eventually parts way into a ghoul fight.
Yes, because you were the one of the few that were awake at this time. You went ahead and sounded the alarm, and we entered combat mode again.
Of course, this one was significantly easier to fight.
Because we were all up.
Tara actually fought.
Yeah, she decided
by turning one of the ghouls away from us.
Turn undead!
2?
No, she turned 2 of them.
Yeah, 2 of them. I changed the segment. And secondly, I think you scored a serious hit and I scored a crit at one point. One of the two.
And then my character chopped off one of the guy's heads, laughing maniacally, and then the last one who ran away, she stabbed her and just killed on it.
Yes. Now, there is something that I would like to bring up for what ended up happening with the points that I got from the previous session. I spoke with the GM, and after looking at the spells, I realized I don't use Lightning Sword. I never use Lightning Sword. Why do I have this spell? So I talked with the GM, and we eventually ended up getting 2 signature spells that use the lightning weapon spell as a prerequisite.
In other words, you basically create the Monado.
Well, in the first case, I created a weapon that not only did lightning damage, which is burning, but it also functioned as a sort of pseudo-taser for 20 seconds. Meaning that the enemies, if I hit them, would have to make rolls to avoid being stunned. Which further progressed when I came across the second spell, which, as you say, is something like the Monado. A beam of light that extends out of my sword that inflicts stun damage and lightning damage.
And it turns your normal sword into a long sword, correct?
at will.
It extends the range.
Yes,
Yes.
I used it at will, and at one point I actually did a hurricane spin slash with the weapon and lightning weapon, and connected with two of the
Targets.
targets.
Two of the ghouls.
One
Yeah.
of which failed its stun roll, and you were able to take advantage of.
Yep. Chop its head off.
Yes. So I was very happy with the spell, though we did look at the damage that it actually inflicted afterwards, and even though this thing does ignore damage reduction overall, it doesn't do that much damage.
It's not as broken as we were all thinking it was going to be.
Right.
Yeah.
It is actually a fairly balanced spell, but it does give me additional range and the ability to turn a battle by stunning the enemy.
Yeah, it's not as good as your paladin characters.
Who could summon fire nukes?
Yeah, 3 fire nukes a day.
I'm going to get to that.
Oh god.
I am going to get to the broken part, but for now, not so much.
Let's see. After that, I believe
That was the end. We had a wrapping up in which we went ahead, sat down for the night. We were told that we could get provisions that would allow us to make it to the area by which we would go free the second half as a kata, quote unquote. And we stopped it there because otherwise it was going to take another hour and a half to complete.
and it was already like 9 o'clock, but by the time
It was already 8:30, 9 o'clock by the time we got to that point. So
Yeah,
by GM will, we went ahead and stopped it there.
Yeah, because our Ravenloft sessions last for like 8 hours.
Roughly. I mean, one of my
Well, they
suggestions.
last from either 6 to 8.
Well, again, one of the suggestions I made to the GM was we take breaks a bit more often, not just for food.
Mhm.
So that helped also not only maintain composition, but also just overall make it more pleasant.
So
In the
afterwards, we had a little bit of a story telling for our other characters.
Well, only one really, mine, which was the annoying street rat that we met way earlier in the session. Has finally got caught
And
and needs my lawyer character to bail him out.
Which is awesome. And then, let's see, my moon priest, Miko, he was about to be pulled into the middle of a
civil war, and you said fuck that.
Yeah. I'm going back to Rokushima. Fuck this noise. I don't care.
I think that was the extent of whatever cutscenes we did.
Yes.
Yeah.
So 10 points given to each player for the session.
Which is enough for me to buy off my bad luck, which is I am still pissed about.
To be fair, would you rather keep it?
No, I wouldn't. I would not like to give the GM the opportunity of a free re-roll against me.
No, not a free roll, a free roll cancellation.
Yeah, free plot point, basically.
No, because plot points you can re-roll.
And to be fair, with regard to the GM, we had always been having these secret disadvantages on our characters.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. And we put them there because of one of two things. A, we wanted to fill up space on our character sheets so that we would be able to round out and get the full benefit of each character's disadvantage cap.
Yeah.
Because for every disadvantage you have, you get points back.
Mm-hmm.
But the GM reserves the right to use these to screw you over whenever he wants.
Or worse, if you have bad role playing, he can penalize you for them as well.
Yes, as he
Yeah.
did with you.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Which,
But-
I haven't had that problem yet.
Well,
Although technically I have been playing my character pretty faithfully, kinda.
Yes, actually, yes. But here's the thing. Up until this point, all three of us had treated the secret disadvantage as free points.
Yeah.
We
well,
quote unquote knew Philip was never going to use
well,
them.
correction.
We
You two never knew you were going to be called them. I was willingly giving him ideas for a secret disadvantage and calling them out if he liked them. For example, after the whole experience in zombie New Orleans, I told him, hey, it would be pretty cool since he went ahead and ran out of the situation to give him cowardice. And the GM was like, yeah, let's roll with that.
Yeah.
Or for the samurai who was hacking and slashing whenever he could, he says, he's acting a bit impulsive this. How about we add that? And the GM was like, yeah, let's do that. Neither of you fuckers were doing that.
Well, to be fair,
I didn't know what kind of disadvantage would work.
well,
Which
there's that.
was the third reason why I actually put secret disadvantage, because I don't know what to give him.
The secret disadvantage gave the GM a free pass at you, and
Yeah.
would allow him to incorporate your character into his game.
Yeah, but still,
Usually.
that was a really bad trait to give him, because seriously, a thief with unlucky is...
Well,
A thief with
to
alcoholism
be-
would be funnier.
Also, to be fair, what happened when you tried to get away from the guards?
I talked my way out of it
You had to
No,
talk
but what
her out
happened
of
the
it.
first time?
But why did you have to talk your way out instead of getting away?
because I was unlucky.
No, specifically, what did you fail?
I failed my acrobatic.
You failed your climbing
My
roll.
climbing roll, yeah.
And fell right back down there.
He could have given me clumsy.
He could have given you clumsy, but
That would have been.
but in that case, it wasn't a
Klutzy
failure.
would not have done that. Klutzy would mean like, if you walk into a potion shop, you have a tendency to knock down the potions.
Oh god.
The -15 version, however, does have that stipulation where he can basically screw you over with any dex roll.
Oh god, he turned me into Colette.
Oh no,
He
no.
could have done
He
that.
could have done that, but
but
no,
he didn't.
he decided
I would be
to give
making
you-
Chester-shaped holes in everything.
Yes!
Which would
Yes!
be awesome. We could use those to get away.
Yeah,
You
just,
somehow managed to fail your way through a brick wall.
and not take any damage.
Well,
You
you probably
take
would.
damage.
You probably would have. Oh, here's a worse one. Dependent.
Ooh!
You have a little street urchin running around that you have to protect, and you can't get. You cannot let them. You have to protect them at all costs.
Fuck, you mean I get my own Abu?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, except you have to actually protect them.
Fucking hell!
You can buy this off for a mere cost of 10 character points.
Fuck it, I'm getting rid of Unlucky. I'm still pissed off because I wanted to use those 10 points for something else. Maybe
Yeah.
our bet.
You could.
Yes.
Like I said.
Yeah, that's really another thing that's
Did
pissing
we
me off.
mention that?
Yes, we shook hands on the last podcast.
Oh right, we did. Okay,
Yes,
just
yes,
checking.
yes.
Just checking.
Yeah, the whole steak dinner bet with me trying to steal someone's pants or panties. And by the way, stealing someone's panties is going to be a whole lot easier.
Well, yeah.
Because I never said how I would steal them.
You just did.
No, well, kind of.
You just said
Oh,
you
man.
would.
You never. Well, we never agreed on how I would take them. So I can either just slip someone's pants off, or I could just go ahead and.
He 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 he.
Oh God, what are you looking
Oh, what did you discover, Leo?
Lecherousness.
at? Technically,
You would have had the Leo disadvantage, which meant that if you encountered a female, you would have to roll self-control to not try and hit on them. -5 penalty if they're beautiful. -10 penalty if they are very beautiful.
Thankfully, we haven't run into any of those yet, and we also have Tara in the party.
Well, Tara would probably qualify as
yeah,
the
she
-5,
does. She does.
which means you would have had to roll to not bang the healer.
Oh God, damn it!
So
Which I think may or may not cause her to lose her powers, now that I think about it.
for that cult, no, not necessarily because that does not have a vow of chastity. Although the character herself might, but that wouldn't be related to her powers.
Alright.
All
In
right.
any event, I think that covers the Legend Hunt. That covers the Ravenloft speculation board. What's coming up on the channel?
More Dark Souls, of course. As soon as I'm done with this exam, I might actually have time to do my poison type review.
There's ideas for a couple of one-offs that we might do in the future.
I'll go ahead and send my the audio for the type review that I've been doing.
All right.
Which we might have a one-off or a possible start of another series that might follow up. We need to work out that.
Yeah, there's also the other plan we had to do with the greatest RPG thing.
Ah, yes.
We never did do that we had planned, so...
Well, we've never actually gotten around to recording it, so we'll have to get on that too.
Yeah, so...
In any event, this is Leo Force.
This is Death Zero.
And this is Legend Hunter, signing out.
Later, guys.
Spring break!
You idiot.
Ciao.